What's up, fam? Brandon Walker, more Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Feeling good today on this Thursday morning here in the SEC Country studios in Dunwoody, Georgia. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in this hour or this 45 minutes of tomfoolery and hijinks and whatever other word I can come up with for it. We're going to talk about Mississippi State at Arkansas. We're going to take an early preview of the Ole Miss game. I'm not scared. We're going to go ahead and look at that a little bit. We'll talk about, is this possibly Dan Mullen's best team at Mississippi State? Will it go down as that? I think there is a path to that maybe becoming a conversation that we're going to have in the near future. We'll talk about, what else will we talk about? First of all, let's turn my volume down. We'll have a slight bedtime story at the end, and we'll do today's top five. It'll be top five Mississippi State players under Dan Mullen, the top five Dan Mullen-era Bulldogs. That's what we'll do today on the show. How many we got? 38 people? Come on, guys. Get in here. Get in here, everybody. The mini bell has made the desk. Yes, it was not my choice, but the mini bell is on the desk. Terp is persona non grata. Well, Terp's just a terrible person, period.
Sup?
Terp makes us late. He made me late today. I was sitting here on time, and Terp made me late.
How do you get my mic?
I would say the land shark over there doing fine. She was on time, but Terp not.
I'm always on time.
Terp is terrible. Hello, Summerall, Mississippi. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Donnie Arrington. Thank you for being here. So Yahoo has South Carolina in the citrus over us in the Outback. What is that all about, Brandon? Well, not everybody who claims to be an expert on college football is an expert. One of these days you guys are going to learn that as huge college football fans, you know just as much as some of these experts. Period. Even me. Well, not me. But most of these other experts. Hail State from Highway 61. Good to have Highway 61 here. Huntsville, Alabama is in the house. Macomb checking in. Navarre, Florida, one of my favorite places in the world. Down there between Pensacola and Fort Walton Beach. Beautiful place, Navarre. Juana's Pagoda. That's a place I have spent some time. Enjoyed myself there. Ringgold, Georgia is here. The Brandon, Mississippi is here. Chad Edwards checking in. Danny E. Pinter checking in. Colorado's here. Lloyd Wilkins. Bay Springs, Kyle Pace in the house. So we're building an audience here. We'll go about 3 more minutes, and then we'll get this podcast started. Phil Everett checking in from Lakeland, Tennessee. Hail State from Nashville, says Chris Powers. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I think State's going to roll Arkansas. That's what I think. I think Arkansas has got a lot of problems. A lot of issues up there in Arkansas in the natural state. Is that right? Is Arkansas the natural state? I'm going to need somebody to Google that for me.
The natural state?
The natural state. I think that's what they are. I'm almost certain they're the natural state. What's Georgia, the peach state? Mississippi's the hospitality state. Bruce Irwin checking in from Caledonia, Mississippi. Corey Carpenter's in Fulton. It is. Arkansas's the natural state. See, I nailed it. I don't know if I can get all 50 of those. Utah's the beehive state. Did you guys know that? California is the golden state. Florida's the sunshine state.
Nice.
Illinois is the land of Lincoln.
What's Texas?
The Lone Star State.
What is Oklahoma?
The Sooner State.
What's Maryland?
The douchebag state?
Incorrect.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what Maryland. I don't know. Is it? What is it?
I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is?
No.
You went to the University of Maryland.
Yeah, I know.
Gulfport, Biloxi, Mississippi checking in. Hello, Stark Vegas. Grace Thacker Good says Arkansas is the pig state. Jay Hammer says, who cares what Maryland is? Good question. Very good point, Jay Hammers. Thank you for that. I went to the Hawks game last night. The Hawks won by, 45 points? I'm dragging this morning. I am struggling. We took the train down into Midtown. You ever done that? Don't ever do that again. Whew. Man. Mike Kilgore says, I hope you're right about this weekend. Need to roll the last 2. Well, you need to follow along because I've been right pretty much every week. Every week, Brandon Walker's been right. And I'm not talking in third person. Brandon Walker doesn't do that. Brandon Walker will not talk in third person when talking about Brandon Walker. But Brandon Walker's been right all year, according to Brandon Walker. All right, 11:52. Terp, you feeling good? You ready?
Yep.
So we'll talk about all those things. Thank you for being here once again. Thank you for joining the show. And stick with me. We'll be back at the end to talk about our top five fast food restaurants. That's what we'll talk about at the end. Is there somebody in the studio right now?
No, look.
Okay.
There's no one there.
It feels like the door's opening.
That's no one there.
All right, I'm paranoid this morning. All right, score prediction against Arkansas, Shane Monroe. Stick to the podcast. I'll give you that in just a second. Now, let's go, Terp.
The More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
That's me, Brandon Walker. More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country, coming to you from the SEC Country studios here in beautiful Dunwoody, Georgia. It is a warm Thursday afternoon out there. Thursday, I guess it's still Thursday morning for 7 more minutes here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a nice day. Beautiful day. The sun's out. It's up to about 65 degrees. Really nice day here in Georgia. I'm sure it's nice where you are in Mississippi or Alabama, wherever you might be. If you're in the hospitality state or the Golden State or the Peach State or the Sunshine State or Maryland, the Old Line State, you can listen to me every single day. You can join me on Facebook Live. You can join me at 10:45 Central Time on Facebook Live. I've got 83 people in there right now talking about Mississippi State, interacting with me, having a good time. So we'll turn to them later. We'll get back to the Facebook Live later. We'll talk about our favorite state nicknames. Utah being the Beehive State is good. New Jersey being the Garden State seems odd also. Anyway, we'll get to that. Today on the show, we're going to talk about a pig roast in Arkansas. Now, I think Mississippi State's going to roll into Fayetteville and roll out with a victory. And now that I said that out loud, I sure hope the game's in Fayetteville and not Little Rock, because I would feel really stupid. But I'm pretty sure it's in Fayetteville. But you can't have 2 home stadiums, all right? That's confusing. You shouldn't have 2 home stadiums, all right? 1 home stadium is enough for everybody else. Why do they get to have 2? I mean, can you imagine buying tickets and like, oh, I'm going to Fayetteville. It's going to be nice. And then you have to go to Little Rock. That's miserable. Anyway, not important. Not important. It is in Fayetteville. And I think State's going to roll Arkansas this weekend. I think State's going to cruise to a victory over a really, really bad Arkansas football team. Then we'll take an early look at the Egg Bowl. Speaking about bad football teams, we'll take an early look at the Egg Bowl since it's just a week away. Is today Thursday?
Yes.
Since it's just a week away. I mean, it's a short turnaround from Arkansas to Ole Miss, so we'll talk about Ole Miss, the Egg Bowl, a little bit. I have a question. Can this go down as Dan Mullen's best team at Mississippi State? So far, no, because the other 2014 went to number 1, but I think there's an argument to be made if you let the string play out. I'll ask that question later. Today's top 5 will be the top 5 Dan Mullen era Mississippi State Bulldogs. And then we'll have just a nugget of a bedtime story at the very end. So get my music ready, Terp. We'll have just a tiny bedtime story at the end for our younger listeners. First, let me go ahead and pay some bills here. Hey, More Cowbell listeners, you know that Hooters is your place for game day, but did you know Hooters now offers online ordering? In fact, they've teamed up with SEC Country to give you $5 off any order of $25 or more. It's simple to do. Just visit hooters.com/to-go. Place your order for the upcoming game. Make sure you use the promo code SECFans, that's SECFans, one word, to receive $5 off any order of $25 or more. Orders must be placed online, so go ahead and do that. Get your hot wings and your chicken wings and your mild wings, whatever kind of wings you want from Hooters. Wings are delicious, aren't they?
Yep.
Wings are. Who doesn't like wings? Everybody likes wings.
Everyone.
You ever been with somebody and say, "Hey, you want to get some wings?" and they say no?
Never.
Obviously not. That'd be if they did say no. To go ahead and sever that relationship right there. Go ahead and finish it off. Like, you don't want wings? Fine. I don't want to talk to you anymore ever in my life. Right now, there's somebody in my Facebook Live probably saying they don't like wings, and I'm gonna have to block them forever. I'm gonna have to block them. You're making too much noise over there leaving the studio. I just want you to know that. Multiple, okay, yeah. So, no, nobody says they don't like wings. Of course they don't say they don't like wings. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's get to the podcast. A lot to talk about today. State's going to Arkansas this week, and this has been a very tricky trip for Mississippi State throughout the history of this series. The fact that it is sandwiched between your main rival, Ole Miss, and the team that, has been a rivalry for Mississippi State. It's been certainly a Super Bowl of sorts for Mississippi State, as it is for everybody else. Alabama is kind of the measuring stick, has been for the last 10 or 12 years. So sandwiched between Alabama and Ole Miss, that's a very tricky spot for Mississippi State. It's a very tricky spot to really get up for Arkansas every year. And I can't say the State's always gotten up for Arkansas. And those parameters exist for this game. The parameters of a possible letdown, of possibly not being ready for Arkansas, exist for this game. You're coming off an emotional ESPN primetime loss to Alabama, where you were this close to victory, where you were this close to beating Alabama, beating number one. It didn't happen. You've got your in-state rival frothing at the mouth for next Thursday. They got their quarterback. They think they're good all of a sudden. They're about to face crippling NCAA sanctions. Maybe they have one last Hail Mary in them. And in between that, you've got Arkansas, a team who has been, well, they've been terrible. They've been flat out terrible. And I don't see how that terrible streak is going to end against Mississippi State. Now, I know the potential for a letdown is there because of the conditions, because of what happened last week, what will happen next week. I just don't think it's possible against this team. I mean, this team in Arkansas is dead last in the SEC in scoring defense. They're in the bottom 3 or 4. I think they're 11th in rushing defense. They're 11th in passing defense. They can't stop anybody. They gave up 50 to Texas A&M, 38 to Coastal Carolina, 37 in a win to Ole Miss, 33 to LSU, 46 or 47 to South Carolina, who's not very good. They give up a lot of points to everybody. They're just not a good football team. And when you throw in the fact that it is utter chaos in Arkansas right now, I mean, I really got to hand it to Mississippi State and Dan Mullen. There's just so little drama around the coaching and the administration and all that. Look in Arkansas. They just fired their athletic director. They're about to fire their coach. I don't know who has a job up there. I don't know who's making decisions. It is a mess. Their backup quarterback just got a DUI. Their starting quarterback is currently held together with bubble gum and tape. And I don't know how that really, when you're not very good, when you got all these distractions, when your starting quarterback has been hit almost every play this year, I'm not sure I'd want to play a Mississippi State team that will block the hell out of you, that will get after the quarterback, that will get after everybody's got the football, that can pound the football. I just think it's a terrible matchup for Arkansas. A terrible matchup. Everything in the matchup heavily favors Mississippi State. The only thing that doesn't favor Mississippi State is that it's sandwiched between Alabama and Ole Miss. And I'm just not sure Arkansas is going to be able to get up for an 11 a.m. game against number 16 Mississippi State. That's why I think State's going to go in there. I think State's going to win by 30 points. I think State's going to win 38-7, 31-3, something like that, 45-14. I just don't see Arkansas being able to put much of a fight up in the circumstances it is currently in. I'm not sure how often we've beaten Arkansas that badly. I know we beat them 45-14 once, but even when we were number one, it was 17-10. Beat them 51-50 last time. And people say, it's really tough to go to Arkansas and win. It is. It is. But if State were to win Saturday, they'd have a 3-game winning streak in Arkansas. So I guess it's really, it is tough, but State's been able to handle it. Mullen's been able to handle it. One thing I want to watch out for this weekend, Nick Fitzgerald, Aris Williams, they're both sitting at about 900 yards. They're sitting at 900 yards apiece with the two worst rushing defenses in the conference and two of the worst two of the worst rushing defenses in the country coming up. You could see Fitzgerald and Harris Williams. I think you will see them both go over 1,000 yards. It'll happen against Ole Miss if it doesn't happen against Arkansas. I'm not sure the exact number, but I know they're right around 900. What a statement that would be for Mississippi State, for Dan Mullen's running offense, for the offensive line to have 2,000-yard rushers. That's something to watch this weekend. I don't know if they'll get there. I haven't looked up the exact numbers of how much they need, but I can say with almost certainty that barring injury, both will get there in the next 2 weeks. Need Donald Gray back. I know that. That wide receiver, I think he's still questionable. I know Gabe Miles is out. Need to give Fitzgerald weapons wherever you can at wide receiver, even if it doesn't matter against Arkansas. You're going to need him against Ole Miss in a game that's going to be emotional and hotly contested. So let's go ahead and take a look at that Egg Bowl. You know, as State fans, we have a knack for finding the worst in everything or expecting the worst. I don't deny that. I don't deny that at all. Look at last week when everybody thought Alabama was going to blow us out, even though there was no evidence to point to that. And now Ole Miss has made a change at quarterback, and they're moving the football a little better. And State fans are like hitting me up on Twitter, say, "Hey, are you worried about the Egg Bowl?" No, I'm not. I'm not. Are you? You shouldn't be. You should not be. Ole Miss has shown signs of life. I'll say that. They've shown signs of life. That team has not quit on Matt Luke. They've not quit. Here's what happened to Ole Miss in the middle of the season. They were running a 7-on-7 offense. They were trying to please a 5-star quarterback by running the offense through him and around him and only him. And it wasn't working. It was awful. So he gets hurt, and they put in Jordan Teamu, who has college football skill set, who can run the football, who allows you to run the football, and who can throw it on time, who doesn't think he has to make the marquee play, the primetime sports center play every time. And they've gotten better. They are better offensively. Much better. They're not playing that 7-on-7 crap offense anymore. But let's be honest about this. They're still a really bad football team. They're still an awful football team. Even in this run where they've been better with Teamu, they still lost to Arkansas. I just spent 10 minutes telling you how pathetic Arkansas is. They've lost to Cal this year. They've lost to Arkansas. Even with the new quarterback, they still lost to possibly the worst team in the league. And you look at it, you might say, you know, State's pass defense has been giving up a little bit. Trust me on this. Ole Miss's weakness on run defense far, far, far outweighs Mississippi State's pass defensive weakness. Far outweighs it. Ole Miss isn't good anywhere on their defense, not at any level. Not at defensive line, not at linebacker, not at defensive back. State at least gets after you. State has, you know, top 20 defense in this country. And Ole Miss hasn't beaten a team with a pulse. Probably won't. And State has only lost to top 10 teams. So as we go forward and look at this, I really don't want my Twitter populated with negativity and, you know, we're not going to be able to stop them. We're not going to be able to stop A.J. Brown. We're not going to be able to stop. Get it out of your head. Get it out of your head. So this is a podcast where I kind of have fun. I kind of, you know, I'm joking. Take the video down. This is a real serious segment, and I know when I say this, when I say it's a real serious segment, you roll your eyes. You think I'm just leading into something. I'm really not. So just okay. All right. This is serious. So I want you to listen to me. There's a 9-year-old girl in West Point, Mississippi. West Point, Mississippi is my hometown. Her name is Lila Usry. Okay. She was diagnosed with leukemia last week. I know her uncle. He's a very good friend of mine, a very, very, very good friend of mine. He reached out to me last night, and I retweeted the link to donate to Lila's cancer fund. I think she's been diagnosed for 5 or 6 days now, and they're already in a clinic, and her bills are already skyrocketing past $50,000. So I'm asking you today on the show, on this podcast, if you're out there in podcast land, if you're on this show right now, this Facebook Live, if you enjoy this show, I appreciate that. I'm asking you, let's help where we can. Let's give this girl and her family some help. This is a terrible situation. She is beginning a battle against leukemia. Her family needs our help. At 11:15 Central Time, I've scheduled a tweet to go out that has the donation, that has the link to where you can donate to this family. Just help them out. I don't know if it's $5, if it's $10, if it's 50 cents, whatever. I just think this is a family that needs our help. They're Bulldogs, and I plan to give it to them however we can. So make sure you look at that at 11:15 again. That tweet's coming out during the show. But yeah, Lila Usry, 9 years old, beginning her battle with leukemia, and I'm going to use this show and I'm going to use my Twitter platform to help out as best I can. So let's get back to the show. Dan Mullen has been here 9 years. Dan Mullen has been Mississippi State's coach 9 years. Now, the gold standard of his teams, the best team he has had is 2014. That team went to number 1. That team went to the Orange Bowl. They finished 10-3. They finished number 11 in the country. Is there a path to this team finishing better than that team? I think there is, and I think it's very, very clear. I think this team could finish ranked higher than that team did. I think this team could finish maybe remembered more fondly. That team reached higher highs, but they lost the last 2 games of the year, Ole Miss and Georgia Tech. State has gotten through the toughest part of its schedule. They're 7-3. If you beat Arkansas, you're 8-3. If you beat Ole Miss, you're 9-3. You're going to go to a Sunny Bowl in Florida, maybe the Citrus, maybe the Outback. You're going to play a very good Big Ten team. You could be playing Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin, any of those teams. Not Maryland. God, not Maryland. You could be playing any of those really good, high-profile Big Ten teams. And national media really values bowl wins, probably overvalues them. So if State were to finish 9-3 and beat, say, Penn State in a bowl game, they're 16th now. They're going to move up to 11 or 12 in the next 2 weeks, as long as they keep winning. If they win that bowl game, they're going to finish 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere like that. This is all if, certainly. I'm just saying, I'm recognizing it now that there is a path to the best finish Mullen's ever had here. And it's all just a setup to 2018. Of the players that started the other night, I think Martinez, Rankin, Des Harris are the only ones leaving. So this season has kind of been up and down a little bit, but it has a chance to finish on a big, huge up note. Huge. So that is definitely something to watch over the next couple of weeks. That's definitely something to watch over the next 3 games. Top 5, today's top 5. I do this every day. You can reach me at bwalker_SEC, at bwalker_SEC. You can send me your top 5 list ideas. I'll do it. Today's top 5, the best Dan Mullen era Mississippi State football players. Again, I said he's been here 9 years, and these are the 5 best to me. Now, this is a very tough list to put together. You look in the NFL is full of young studs from Mississippi State. It just is. Chris Jones, Darius Slay, Gabe Jackson, Bernard McKinney, Fletcher Cox, all of these guys, Dak Prescott, all of these guys under Mullen. So today's top 5 was tough to put together. Who didn't make the list? Before I get to the list, who did not make the list? Darius Slay did not make the list. He was good in college, but I think he's been even better in the pros. Bernard McKinney did not make the list. Did not make the list. Anthony Dixon, only 1 year under Mullen, did not make the list. Gabe Jackson, All-Pro in Oakland, did not make the list. Current quarterback Nick Fitzgerald did not make the list. Check with me after next year, he might. My good friend Chad Bumpus did not make the list. And I take great delight in that. And I'm going to text him very shortly and tell him he didn't make the list. So who did make the list? Well, 5 players. That's what makes it the top 5, right? So you go from 5 to 1, right? That's how these things work. Number 5, And I admit there is some projection here. There is some prediction. There is definitely some futures betting going on here. But I think when his career is over, he will go down as one of the best Mississippi State players of all time. So I'm putting him on the list, even though he's just a sophomore, even though he is hasn't scratched the surface of his potential yet. I'm going with Jeffrey Simmons. I think Jeffrey Simmons will go down as a top 5 player under Mullen. That's the only guy on here that I'm projecting. He's the only current player. And it came down to Simmons or Fitzgerald. But ultimately, I think Simmons is probably going to play in the NFL for 15 years. I think Simmons is a potential SEC Defensive Player of the Year next year. That's how good he is. He has been dominant for Mississippi State. Dan Mullen has gotten some great defensive linemen here and a couple more on this list. Jeffrey Simmons has potential to go down as the best of that group. Number 4, moving on, talking about another young defensive lineman, talking about another guy who maybe didn't even scratch his potential at Mississippi State. Really didn't become what I think Jeffrey Simmons is going to become. But if you watch on Sundays, you see Chris Jones dominating for Kansas City. And Chris Jones was a huge recruit for Mississippi State in 2013, top 5 recruit in the country, 5-star recruit. He was instrumental on the defensive line that helped us go to number 1. Chris Jones is my number 4. Number 3 for Dan Mullen, the Dan Mullen era Bulldogs. And if you disagree with these, I think I probably believe you, because this was very hard to put together. This was extremely hard to put together. Number 3, Dan Mullen era Bulldogs, Jonathan Banks won a Thorpe Award at Mississippi State, was a freshman during Mullen's first year, one of my favorite Mississippi State players of all time. Darius Slay has had a better NFL career than Jonathan Banks has. However, I don't think it's debatable. Jonathan Banks had a remarkable Mississippi State career. He was a playmaker from the beginning, both at safety and cornerback. He won the Thorpe Award for Mississippi State in 2012. Jonathan Banks is one of the greatest players in school history, and he's one of the best players under Dan Mullen. He is I don't know how you could not like Jonathan Banks. I don't know anybody that wouldn't like Jonathan Banks. He's another one of those guys. I think Buffus is like this. Dixon's like this. They are 100% Mississippi State. When they were here, when they leave, they are 100% Mississippi State. Mississippi State courses through their veins. Kevin Wright on the Facebook Live says Jones, Fletcher Cox, and Dak are 3-2-1. I don't think Jones is number 3. I think Banks is number 3. Number 2, Fletcher Cox, one of the best defensive players in the NFL, a wrecking ball at Mississippi State, a 4-star recruit out of, oh no, where was he from? Yazoo City, right? Yazoo City? Thanks, Terp. Dynamite help. Fletcher Cox was a big-time recruit. 2009 class. This 2009 class has the last 2 guys. It was Mullen's first class, and that's not even mentioning guys like Chad Bumpus and others that were in that 2009 class. But yeah, I got Fletcher Cox number 2. He dominated on the defensive line for Mississippi State. He was a high draft pick, I think 12th to the Eagles. He is one of the best young players in the National Football League. He's making a ton of money. That's what you do. If you want to make a ton of money in the NFL, you go to Mississippi State. If you want to make a ton of money in college, you might go somewhere else in the state. Number 1, I don't think there's any suspense here. We don't need a drum roll, do we? We don't need any kind of build-up. No. The best player under Dan Mullen, the best player in the history of Mississippi State University is Dakota Prescott. Dak Prescott, one of the best young players in the NFL, a Heisman contender at Mississippi State. Dan Mullen has changed the image of Mississippi State. He's changed it from a bad job into a good job. He's changed it into somewhere you can make a lot of money. He's changed it into somewhere with a great atmosphere. And how did he do that? By signing Dak Prescott. By finding Dak Prescott in Houghton, Louisiana, bring him in, making him the quarterback, changed everything about Mississippi State's football program. Dak did that. Dak Prescott and Dan Mullen did that together. He continues to do it. Another guy who has Mississippi State coursing through his veins. He is Mississippi State through and through. One of the best players in the NFL, and he's our guy. I'm 38 years old. I've never had our guy, a quarterback in the NFL. So I think let's run down that again. Top 5 Mullen era players: Jeffrey Simmons, Chris Jones, number 3 Jonathan Banks, number 2 Fletcher Cox, number 1 Dak Prescott. So that's today's top 5. We'll continue doing that every single day. Send me a list. Send me your top 5 idea. I'll get it on the list, and we'll do it. We will definitely do it. I've got a list that has some ridiculous ideas, some absolutely ridiculous ideas. You want to hear some of these ideas, Terp? Of course
Sure.
you do. I don't care if
I
you
do
do or not. Best fast food chains. Best 90s TV shows. Top 5 schools that regretted firing a good coach. Top 5 chicken wing sauces. Chicken wings are delicious. We're back to that. Top 5 quotes from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You ever seen that, Terp?
Maybe. I've seen one of the Lampoons. I don't know which one it was. Is that when they go to the theme park?
You're asking me if National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is when they go to the theme park? That's what you're
It's a
asking me?
vacation.
That's what you're asking me. You're asking me if National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation movie is when they go to the theme park.
Which one is that?
That's National Lampoon's Vacation.
Oh, well,
That's
one
just
word
vacation. They've taken many vacations. They've gone to Europe, they've gone to Vegas, and they've stayed home for Christmas Vacation. But Christmas Vacation is the best National Lampoon's movie. It's the best. It might be the best movie of all time. You've never seen it?
No.
I swear.
Should I watch it?
Play my bedtime story music. I can't even with you. I can't even with you. Can y'all believe this? Can y'all believe this? Lee Jennings says throw the baby bell at him. If there weren't like $10,000 worth of equipment and a big piece of glass between us, I swear I'd throw it at him. I'm going to throw it at him eventually.
Come at me, bro.
A lot of sap. Looks great. A lot of sap. Damn, that thing wouldn't fit in our yard. It's not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room. I'm just out here quoting the movie. This would be a real nice surprise, Clark. A real nice surprise. All right, the bedtime story for today. It's just a tweet. That's all it is. It's not even a story because, frankly, the places I've been getting my Ole Miss stories, they're not as happy anymore. They're not nearly as happy. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not even going to say the tweeter's name. This is not about embarrassing anybody. It's not about doing anything like that. It's simply about doing a bedtime story, which is where I read stories of fairy tale and fantasy that aren't connected to reality at all, and I put everybody to sleep. So here's the tweet that I saw Tuesday night, I think, maybe Monday night. And I'm not going to tell you who tweeted it. If you want to find that out, you can find it out. It's now past 8 weeks since the NCAA Committee on Infractions hearing into the Ole Miss football program. All right, that's factually correct. It's factually correct. I'm with you so far. Some say a decision may not come until after Thanksgiving. Yeah, some people told you that right when it happened. I mean, that seems reasonable, right? Seems reasonable. Regardless of the verdict, the decision should be accompanied with an apology. It's absurd. Oh my God. Oh. Let me before I get into this, I just want to say that I, Brandon Walker, a member of the media, I'm a Mississippi State fan. If you listen to Bulldog Sports Radio, you'll listen to Mississippi State fans. But on the Ole Miss side, they've got a ton of media who will never, ever, ever admit to being a fan of that school, which I don't blame them. I wouldn't admit to that either. However, it is obvious and clear by the tweets, by the stories, by the digs at other people, who's a fan and who's not. And if you're a fan, just be a fan. If you're a fan, just be a fan. It's fine. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to fire you. Nobody's going to take away your credentials. But to say the NCAA owes Ole Miss an apology, like it's not Ole Miss who had a coach calling escorts in Tampa. Like it's not Ole Miss who arranged for academic fraud. Like it's not Ole Miss who had players caught up in loaner cars. Like it's not Ole Miss that had boosters texting recruits. And like it's not Ole Miss that had boosters hanging out with recruits. No, it's the NCAA that has to apologize to Ole Miss. Get out of here with that myth. What is that? Like, it has been 2 years. It has been 2 years, and still nobody on that side will acknowledge or say, you know what, we might have messed up. We might have messed up. No, they better apologize to us. Yeah. Go ahead and get ready for that apology, and you better get ready for some other things too, because it's not going to be pleasant. Turn that music off. Now I'm mad. Facebook Live, I'm coming right back to you. On the podcast, we'll be back. I don't know, Terp. You going to be here tomorrow? You want to do a podcast tomorrow? We plan a podcast every Friday. We never do it.
I will be here.
We'll do it. Let's do it. We're going to do a podcast tomorrow from my house. Huh?
Are you coming in?
No, God, no.
Oh,
No, I'll do it from my house.
Okay.
Yeah, calm down. All right. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Again, Facebook Live, here I come. You've been listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Yeah, I just, that bedtime story really got to me. Bedtime story got to me. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah. Where's the Tylenol? That's a Christmas. Y'all guys just want to swap Christmas vacation quotes for the rest of the show? Because I can do it. We can do it. Hey, kids, look, a deer. No, and we can do it. You ever seen it land shark? You went like that.
I wasn't even alive when it was made, just FYI.
You know what, Turp? I wasn't alive when the Andy Griffith Show was made, but you know what? I watch it all the time.
Well,
all right?
That's different.
I wasn't alive when this country became a country, but I still stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, okay? You don't have to be alive for something to appreciate it. Can't see the line, can you, Russ? Do they not have that movie in Maryland? Is that what it is?
Could be.
No, I
where,
guarantee
where
you.
would I even watch it? Like a DVD? Where would I watch it?
You're asking me where you would watch
Is
a
it
movie?
Yeah.
Where you'd watch every other movie.
Well, it's like, is it on Netflix?
I don't know. I don't think so. You got to stop talking to me because you're bothering me today. Which dogs will bounce back stronger, us or Georgia? Us. State. State's going to kill Arkansas, going to kill Ole Miss. Of course, Georgia's probably going to kill Kentucky because they're terrible, and then beat Georgia Tech. A whole quarter. It wasn't getting my luggage. It was rubbing. She had a painful thing on the back of her foot, and she said, "If you rub it for me, I'll give you a quarter." That's what that was. Oh, Freeform apparently plays it all the time during Christmas. What somebody says. Is it on Netflix? Is this movie on Netflix?
If it is, I'll watch it. But
I've already told you to stop talking. If it's on Netflix, we're going to have him watch it today. Maybe today. Can you watch it today? It's only like an hour and a half long. It's not that long. It's fantastic. How have you... Okay. Let's talk about something else. How in the world do we have the same record as in Kentucky? Well, they play in the East and we play in the West. We also have the same record as South Carolina, and we beat Carolina by 30 points. We beat Kentucky by 38. How do we have the same record as Kentucky? Because they've gotten to play Missouri, they've gotten to play Tennessee, they've gotten to play Florida, they've gotten to play, whoever else is in the East. They've gotten to play all the East teams, and we've had to play Auburn and Alabama. That's how we have the same record as Kentucky. Has Terp ever been to Bonnaroo?
no.
What is Bonnaroo?
It's like a music festival. Is it Tennessee or something? I think somewhere. Never been.
Top 5 Mississippi State Egg Bowl wins. Chad Edwards, don't get ahead of me, buddy. I got to have some top 5 lists for next week, We'll have that. We'll have that probably Monday or Tuesday. We'll have to really figure out what we're going to do next week, Terp, because, we're going to be out for Thanksgiving after Wednesday, so we'll have to record 2 podcasts probably on Wednesday.
Okay. What do you want me to say then?
I don't know. I have such high expectations of you every day, and you just shoot them to the ground every single day. All right, we got 4 minutes left. Okay, we're gonna have to have a debate right now. You've probably never seen either movie, so right now in here, I want you to vote: Christmas Vacation or A Christmas Story. Go ahead and vote for that right now. Which one's your favorite? Which one's the iconic Christmas movie?
Christmas Story.
I told you not to talk. You've seen that one?
I've seen that one, yeah. Many times.
Betty Anderson asked if I'm going to the Egg Bowl. I'm not, Betty. I'm not. I've been offered a ticket by someone in a skybox, but I'm not going to be able to go. I'm just not going to. We're going to stay home for Thanksgiving. You couldn't hear a dump truck driving through a nitroglycerin plant. So we got vacation, we got vacation, we got vacation. That's 3 votes for vacation. 4 votes for vacation. Jay Hammer says it isn't even close. Kevin McGee with A Christmas Story. So that's 4-1. 4-1. 5 and 6 for Christmas Vacation. 7 for Christmas Vacation. It's a rout over here. It is a rout. Cale Pierce is just killing me with these Christmas Vacation quotes. There's A Christmas Story. Christmas Story. Okay. Got a little respect. Got a little respect here. So I just told Terp, and I just got on to Terp in front of God and everybody, in front of you. I just embarrassed Terp because he's never seen Christmas Vacation. So it is only fair that here on my show, More Cowbell, this Facebook Live, that I go ahead and tell you something about me. That I go ahead and admit something about me. Now, my wife does not like this fact. She is trying to get me to change it, and she's going to get me to change it this Christmas. I have never seen A Christmas Story. I've never watched that movie. I'm aware of it. I know it's got the Ralphie kid. I know it's about a Red Ryder BB gun or something, right? But I've never seen it. I've never watched that movie. And I don't have to watch it to know that Christmas Vacation is better than it, because Christmas Vacation is better than everything. But I have never seen A Christmas Story. And really haven't been in a hurry to see it. I mean, it's a kid's movie, right? And I'm just not, just never seen it. My wife is very bothered by this. And she has threatened divorce. She has threatened to leave me. And we're going to watch it this fall, this Christmas. So I will watch it. Boy, wow. Jennifer Tipton is mad. OMG. Some of you are mad. Some of you are understanding. So I'm glad that I was able to get this long, deep, dark secret off. This is the second straight Thursday I've gotten a deep, dark family secret off of my chest. Last week it was my mom and my grandmother are Alabama fans. And this week it's that I haven't seen Christmas Story. So what will it be next week? I don't know. Maybe I'll become a raging alcoholic between now and then. Aren't you supposed to be talking about state? You talking to me? Is he talking to me?
I think so.
Well, I mean, I just did a 35-minute podcast about Mississippi State, and now we're talking about Christmas movies. But yeah, sometimes this show, sometimes we get off on different subjects, right?
It's loose.
It's loose. Yeah. It's not. We're not tied to anything. So no, I'm not supposed to be talking about anything. Technically, I could be sitting up here reading reviews of The Bold and the Beautiful. I could be doing anything. What are we wearing this week? Uniforms, Cale. Uniforms. Come on over. We'll not watch it together. We will not watch it together. Yeah, Steve. Steve C. Friend of the show. Before I really do check out, and we're going to check out shortly, really consider donating to that cause I told you about in the middle of the show. That's a dear family friend from Point City, and they're in a rough fight. So really, I tweeted it out at @bwalker_SEC. So consider doing what you can. If you can't do anything, that's fine. I mean, nobody's going to prison here. I just that's something I believe in. It's not even Thanksgiving, and you're talking about Christmas, really. Newman Kazari. We were just talking about Christmas movies. We were talking. I don't know how we got on the subject of Christmas movies. Somebody wanted to talk about Christmas movies, so we did it. So, but let's be honest. I mean, Christmas really starts November 1st these days, right? You go into stores, it's all Christmas. You go into, I don't know if the Christmas music has started in Mississippi. There's one station in range of Starkville that starts playing Christmas music like September 1st or something.
That's bad.
It's ridiculous. And they play nothing but Christmas music. Have we got any stations in Atlanta that just play Christmas music? That's all they change to?
Like around Christmas time, yeah, but like not now.
Well, Christmas time is going to be like Friday.
It's not Christmas time until after
Thanksgiving? The Friday after Thanksgiving?
Yes, that's when you can start those things.
Prediction on score for the Egg Bowl. I'm going to go Mississippi State. You know, last year is a good template. I'm going to say like 52-28, something like that. 45-20, something like that. Sunny 93. Thank you, Brian Sisk. You're right. He nailed it. Sunny 93 in Tupelo, WSYE. All right, that's a good. Hey, you let me go past 30 today. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. But you can go ahead and start playing me out now. Thank you for. I said you can go ahead and start playing me out now. I said you can go ahead and start playing me out now.
I'm editing. You want me to stop editing to play out your music?
So, guys, we'll be back tomorrow, or we'll have a pregame Facebook Live, a postgame Facebook Live this weekend. Did a lot of views on my Facebook Live last week. We did 11,000 views on my Facebook Live last weekend. So doing good. We'll be back on. We'll try to have a podcast tomorrow. I'll let you know if that's going to happen. Otherwise, thank you for being here. You've been listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country.